Chris Ball, welcome to the
Dude,
Clockwork Percussion Podcast. This is episode number 4,
Mm-hmm.
and very happy to have you here. So basically, we'll just be discussing anything drum-related. And my first kind of talking point is discussing what you're doing right now as far as like recording, touring, rehearsing, giving lessons, taking lessons.
Well, I would say, like, I still take lessons. I'll take lessons from till the day I die.
Mhm.
Like, I don't care if I'm 60 years old. If there's a cat that just knows something I don't, like, I'll pay them for their time. Or if they're just a homie and they want to do it for free, it's a lesson.
Nice.
You know? When I first moved out here, I reached out to, like, some of my favorite drummers. Like, I've been out here for, like, a little over 2 years. Like, 2 years and, like, a month.
And where are you from, just for the listener?
Well, I'm from Louisiana.
Okay.
And I was born in Shreveport, which is, like, the
Northern.
North City.
Right.
It's like Gotham City. There's like nothing there. You know, there's nothing. There's like some crime. But then you go south, you hit like all the true like Cajun and Creole areas like Lafayette and New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in Natchitoches for music. You know, like little small town, but very heavily music influence. You know,
Okay.
from a lot of Zydeco and country
Okay.
or some blues. But like then with all the younger crowd, you're gonna fall into like metal, emo, punk rock. Maybe some hip hop and funk and stuff, but
Cool.
kind of depends on where you are in the state.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So lessons till the day you die.
Yeah,
what about
man.
right now, dude? So we met at the show I played like a week or two ago,
mhm.
and you introduced yourself and thought you're a super friendly, cool dude. And you're like, yeah, I'm a drummer. You're gonna know my buddy Serge. I played at Burning Man. So in my mind, I had like this one idea of like, oh, maybe he's playing like hand drums or something. And then I checked out your Instagram, and I was like, holy shit, you're fucking talented as
Thank you.
hell, dude.
Thank
I
you.
gotta talk to you.
Thank you.
So you're like a really good like just rock kit drummer.
Yeah.
What's your deal?
So, yeah, I think honestly just being involved with music overall, it's like I enjoy producing too, but mainly drums, obviously, like that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's just moving here, getting connected, and meeting people that are actually wanting to do it for the right reasons. Like, you know, I met a lot of people that do it because it's cool or because it's like maybe it's like a quick scheme for them to grab some cash, you know. And like it's you can make some money in music, no doubt,
For sure.
but you say I'm really appreciate you, you know, think I'm really good, and just putting the time in and enjoying music, whether I have no money or, you know, billions of dollars in the bank, you know, it's like, it's not about anything but the actual drumming itself. Like, it's just that fun for me and therapeutic.
Mhm.
So, and I think that going back to that lesson thing, I learned that by watching Eric Moore. When I met him twice, and he's like one of my favorite gospel drummers. Great drummer, man.
Okay.
Super sweet dude. He has his own stick company called Dope Sticks. Great company, like they different colors and stuff like that. Just a good little like you know deal for drummers, you know, because it's for the drummer, you know. And he kind of he'll get it custom to you, like a color and style that fits you. And I don't know, he's just a cool guy.
Dope.
You know, yeah, Dope Sticks.
Wow.
Literally, like yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, it's like fairly new, you know, but it's like really just people that just know him and support that guy, you know. It's
Right on.
you know, because you can get sticks all over the world. You know?
Sure.
So it is kind of like a personal, you know, I feel like these days that's kind of how it is. Like everybody can make a burger,
Yeah.
you know, but you're going to buy the burger from this person because, you know, you relate to them and they're a good person and, you know, they're not, maybe that you could tell they're doing it for a better cause, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
Right. So, meeting him was like, he was the one that put me in that perspective, is that just get connected, play every style of music that you can. My dad, so like a little backstory,
Mm-hmm.
before I moved here, old in Louisiana, my dad's a blues and reggae player. He's a blind piano player, and he taught me a lot about just being in a band and being like a member of the band, a team player, like listening, like, oh, if you can't hear this guy, you're probably playing too loud. And like I love to shred, like I love going hard, but there's a time and place, you know. I can't like be
For
like
sure.
shredding the whole time. But my dad, and then everything Eric Moore taught me about just listening and being aware of just like the people in the room. in an ensemble. It's just like that when you're in a bar. You're in an ensemble of people,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all kind of orchestrated in some weird way, and like you're kind of like paying attention to who's who, and like kind of how we did when I watched you. It was like even before you got on stage, I could tell like, oh, cause I didn't know you were playing drums yet. I was there for the very first band. It was like my buddies. The vocalist was in a band with me when I first moved here,
Okay.
and he just had started this project, so I just like came out on a whim, and I got to see some great music that night. Like I was like, oh, cool, because when you go to like a bar, you just never really know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You really don't. That's why I came up to you and I was like, it was like a machine, bro. Like I sat
thanks,
behind the garage door, and I just knew like, oh, I can learn something from this person. Like you're tight, and like this is how I do it, So that's where I'm doing right now. Like that's my motive is just to keep learning new skills to create more avenues to travel, because I do a couple bands. I do a lot of like studio work for people,
Okay.
so like I have people from back home. They'll send me stuff. Like they'll like maybe put some MIDI drums on there. We want this kind of idea. I'll say, do you want live drums? Do you want some MIDI drums? Do you want hip hop drums? What do they want? And then they just kind of let me do what I do. And, you can make a pretty good, network that way.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like until you're like big, you're not really making a whole bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? It's really just about the music.
Right.
I feel like it's like the biggest trial musicians have to go through until you get success.
Yeah.
You can do some cool stuff, like real big stuff that people dream about doing, which I'm kind of doing that. Like I'm definitely your generic person, well, not generic, but I'm coming over here like trying to follow a path.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be like the gun for hire dude.
In a sense, yeah.
Are you focused on? You mentioned gospel. You mentioned a few different things. Are you focused on like a certain style, or what are you going for?
So I feel like the majority of my life growing up, even when I went to college, people are telling you what to practice, what to play. Read this book, listen to this artist. My dad did it. My professors did it, and they all gave me great, composers and artists to listen to. And I learned a lot, but I think out of all of that, at some point, I'm never going to be Matt Gartzka. I'm not Matt Gartzka. I'm not Eric Moore. I'm not Brian Evans or any of these heroes or people, Danny Carey, anybody you look up to, we can never be them. I don't want to fall in that trap, like, trying to relive my hero's life.
Yeah.
Like you'll see people they'll follow in the steps that their heroes did, but like that they did it in a different time than me. Like
Absolutely.
So I have to maybe take some inspiration from it, but I'm playing a different game because we're in 2023. There's just you can't do the same methods.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to really develop my own sound, my own style, like, and I did that from learning so many different genres and getting the basic nuances and foundations of them. And my favorite genres, I would like kind of go into, maybe study the best drummers of that genre, whether it's like blues or jazz or funk, or I like a lot of progressive music.
Mm-hmm.
I love instrumental stuff.
Okay.
My favorite, kind of music is where I like vocals. Okay, I sing a little bit, and I love to sing. A lot of fun, really great way to express yourself because no one can take it from you. I mean, drums, we could pat on our chest and stuff, and the voice is kind of the same way. And but when I listen to music that's straight instrumental, and I'm a drummer, I'm listening to how the drums, even when they're playing very technical stuff, how they relate just to the ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when I, again, meeting Eric Moore and back to my dad, like, those are the big things they were talking about, and just being aware of where you sit, and in the levels everybody else in the room is at. So I'll play with, like, someone who's been playing for 2 years, and I'll play with a guy who's 65 years old, because I just, like, it's, I mean, you can't say yes to every gig. You can, but, like, eventually, like, you gotta kind of, like, know your worth. But
yeah, you're gonna get something from playing with every different person.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite drummer of all time?
Yes, everyone. I knew you were gonna ask that question. It's very difficult. Because if you would have asked me this when I was 9 years old, 8 years old, I would have been like, Tommy Lee or some like hair 80s metal drummer
Cool.
rock band, because my mom, like, the very first big concert I remember going to was Motley Crue. I was like definitely not of age. Okay, there was titties everywhere. People were. It was like there's strippers and like I was like a kid, man. My mom
Yeah.
bought me this like foam hand. It was like Motley fucking Crue on it. You know, I'm like, whoa. But I remember seeing Tommy Lee do this drum solo, and he's like doing the bungee cord thing, and I'm going from like the pots and pans, jumping down, going to the drum kit, and it was like all hanging up, like spread apart on the wall. So like as he's like going up, he's like hitting them, and I'm like, wow, that's a really creative way to look at drumming. It's not all. I mean, I'm a kid. I'm kind of figuring this out. Like, I mean, at the time, I thought he was playing like really hard stuff.
Yeah.
But then I got older, and I was like, oh, he wasn't really playing anything hard. You know, it was like dat digga dat dat digga digga gat gat.
Yeah.
And then he jumped down and go to the other side, bagga digga boop, bagga digga doop, bagga digga doop. And then he jumped down, and it was just more about the expressive, the artistic thing as a whole. So like Tommy Lee, all the way up to now, I went through all your favorite. You know, I loved Neil Peart at a time. I went through Joey Jordison, all these like drummers that I feel like people would just tell me to listen to. And then I when I started discovering, I did discover Matt Garska on my own. And so I would say he's like my favorite drummer. Like I've taken a Skype lesson. I've bought in like his repertoire like on his website.
Okay.
So like I had the sheet music.
Yeah.
And I've learned like full pieces by it.
Wow.
I studied like the solo, like play them really slow, and then I'll get them up the tempo and stuff. And that, just like reading how he looked at drumming is like, there's 1,000 ways, 1,000,000 ways to skin a cat, basically, is the old saying. And he, he went to Berkeley. I wanted to go to Berkeley, super expensive to go, but I wanted to go, but I couldn't afford it. There's just no way. So I bought all the books. I went to the Berkeley website, bought every book that you have to buy if you go to that school, and just studied it on my own.
Ugh.
And that's how I discovered.
Way cheaper.
Yeah, it was like I just had to homeschool Berkeley myself, basically.
Wow, that's really cool.
But that's how I discovered Eric Moore, Matt Garska, all these great drummers that came from that school. So then I was like, well, that's one school. So then I just started studying like other schools, and then I know there's great drummers that never went to school. So then I started finding like in every city there's like these drum clubs or some type of like these gospel sheds. If you like you're in the church, if you like go to like if where I'm from, church is huge. So we would all get together and just go to a church late at night and just 5 drum sets and just shred, bro. Maybe a keyboard player and bass players will come in too and they're jamming, but the drums right now, I just feel like we're like a vocal point right now for being in a band or any project you're in. I have a lot of bass player friends, and like, I'm getting a little bit more gigs just because drummers are like, hip hop artists want to use them. Every artist wants to use them. You could be in a musical theater gig because you got to do like the SPDSX, the sampling, and drumming and technology right now is like really kind of, with the creating loops, and they can quantize on the spot. You can sample things on the spot. I learned that from looking into other schools across the world, and that's how I discovered Jacob Collier, which is another. He's not a drum. He is a drummer, but he can play every instrument. He's probably one of my favorite just composers.
Okay.
So it was just like I learned like people are telling me these guys are great, these guys are great, these guys are great. And so I had to like, well, how do these guys get great? Where do they come from? Who are they studying? Who are their teachers? What's the history behind where they came from? That's kind of how I discovered this. I was in school too, I was going to, it's a music school, but it was like a university, but they pride themselves huge on like the art department.
Where's that?
It was Northwestern State University in Natchitoches. Small little town, but the music program and art programs are world renowned. Like people from all over the world go to school there for.
That's awesome.
Mainly orchestral stuff, or jazz, maybe like musical theater. So I thought about like going to New York doing like Broadway stuff, but again, a lot of those drummers where they go to school, they went to like some school in Boston, or it was like Berkeley or something.
Yeah.
Not that you have to go to those schools, but it is kind of like a political thing sometimes. So I kind of figured if I'm not in those places, I figured just learning what they know and showing respect. It's like joining a fraternity, you gotta like know who started it, where they came from, to be able to kind of get in. It's like a respect
Yeah.
thing, I guess, you know?
No, it's a good
That was my
outlook.
strategy, but like it wasn't like a strategy on purpose. Like this is how I'm gonna get famous, man. Because I don't. If I ever get any recognition in the music world, great. When I went to NAMM this year, I met a lot of people, and it was just cool to be around people that just love music.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that are trying to make money too,
For sure.
and there's people that are like just trying to get noticed. And I did like want to like meet people that I've never met before, but it was because I want to meet people who love music. And I try not to be like, this genre is the best genre, or I don't listen to this genre, because I grew up in the South, man. So I grew up listening to country, and I grew up on a lake with a boat, and I was fishing, catching bass and everything. There was a time I wore blue jeans, and I still got blue jeans and boots. I'll still put that stuff on. But I just feel like just expressing yourself. There's so many different ways to do it. I feel like, why limit yourself to only one style or one genre or one set of clothing?
I agree, man. So let's dig into that a little bit more. As far as the way that you express yourself on the kit, with like the tools and equipment that you use, what sticks do you use?
I guess for the past maybe 10 years, I've been pretty loyal to maybe it's just the way they feel to me, but specifically the Vic Firth Extreme 5 Ace.
Okay.
They have just a little bit length, kind of durable. I don't break them a lot.
Okay.
And I just like the way they feel. I've tried a lot of sticks out. Sometimes I'll buy signature sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I bought the I think Benny Grebs with Promark. I can't Vader. I don't know who he's with, but I can't remember. I just remember his green logo, and but I don't remember. I don't think it's Vic First, but I hope he doesn't hear this. But yeah, I bought his sticks and I loved them. Because they were I think they were 5Bs, a little bit bigger than what I'm used to, but they just felt really nice. I will say this: when I did get some dope sticks from Eric Moore, because he's one of my favorite drummers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna support him, and I loved them. Like, one, as a drummer, when you're playing, the wood coloring, everyone has it.
Yeah.
But these sticks, you can get them in lime green, white, pink, purple, stripes.
That's sick.
All these crazy colors. So when you're doing your videos or playing live, they really stick out a little bit.
Add some character.
Yeah, it's and it's not they're not super cheaply made. So they got durability. That's kind of a big thing. I noticed when I was a kid, I was buying certain brands and they would break that day.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's maybe the delivery truck didn't have something right going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they got a bad something happened with the malfunction of the machine. I get it, problems happen.
Yeah.
Consistency is success sometimes.
For sure.
Time.
That's
So,
I like that. Okay, so you use the Extreme 5As.
Yeah.
I also like the extended reach on sticks. I think it's important.
Yeah.
What about your current kit? Can you walk us through the brand and how many pieces in your setup?
So I change it a lot.
Okay.
I really do. I have a couple different kits. I've stuck with Tama for a lot of my life, because when I was a kid, that was the first kit I bought myself. I had a Pearl that my dad gave me when I was I had it when I was maybe 4.
Oh wow, you've been playing a long time.
Yeah, for a long time it was just fun, dude. I would go in the backyard and take sticks and play on the swing set, and hit different metals. And I'll get to this in a second because I think this will be a cool backstory. But on the drum kits, Pearl I started out with, I bought a Tama kit for the first time when I was maybe in middle school. I got a little side job. And it was I had cymbals, cheap little pawn shop cymbals at the time. And it was so I was my dad was buy a shell kit, because you can get good drums, because they'll try to sell you kit with the cymbals.
Mm-hmm.
I was man, I'd rather have good drums.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought this. I want to say it was the Thomas Superstar.
Okay.
And it was at the time $900, I think. And I saved up $700. My mom bought put the rest in for me, and I ordered it, dude. It took forever to get to me. Like they were like, all right, we'll be there in a week. It took like 2 months.
Oh.
I just sat there in the garage every day. Like there was like a point in time I was just like depressed because like I just like it's not coming, man. It's not coming, you know. I had another Tama kit actually before that was like the Imperial like little jazz deal, but it was like it's like a little kit. But this kit was like the first kit that I had that was like, yeah. And then I still had that kit. I still use the bass drum. It's a 22 by 22 huge drum.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
I don't take it everywhere, but I love it. You know, it's like it's hard to get fast with it, but it sounds like rock. If you want, if I'm playing like a rock gig,
big deep kit.
Yeah. The toms are shallow though. Like they're like I don't know what the dimensions are, but they're pretty shallow.
Interesting.
And so I had that kit for a while, and then I just started buying like random pieces of kits. I stuck with like DW for a while because like in pork pie like these like signature kits. Like if someone was selling it, I'd buy the snare drum or I'd buy the floor tom or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like makeshift.
Jelly bean kit. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if the tom sounds good, tom sounded good to me, and I go for like. I feel when I was a kid, I was like, oh, that drum's heavy, so it must be a little bit better of a drum. That's kind of like was my mentality. That's not always the case, but it tended to be like somewhat true. Like I have like right now I use like the custom DW snare drum right now.
Oh wow.
And it's like a black snare drum. You can get it from like any store, but I bought it because I just like it's like an even drum. It's like 14 inches. I want to say it's like 5.5 deep or something like that.
Okay.
It's like just like your typical. I have a couple like little bitty snare drums as well. Like
yeah,
I have a 12-inch Tama like cocktail kit.
Oh okay.
It's a beautiful kit, sparkling kit, and it's like I found it at PASIC one year. PASIC is like it's a percussive art society.
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah,
heard of it.
you should definitely look into going. We can go. We could probably use your podcast some way to get like a discount.
That'd be dope.
And just go and interview a lot of drummers go there. It's the first time I met Eric Moore. Matt Garska did a awesome clinic there as well. The Blue Man Group. Everyone
wow.
from Journey's drummer. What's his name? I saw so many. Victor Wooten was there jamming with people. I met Victor Wooten at NAMM too, but all these great August Burns Red guy, Matt Griner. He's
okay. Yeah.
August Burns Red. Yeah, he's done clinics there. So PASIC is a great place to go if you just love drums. Everything from orchestral, percussion ensemble, marching drums, to just electric drums, DJ kind of stuff, drum solos. There's competitions like in the youth. Like you'll go see like young drum set competitions, and like these kids are like 16 just shredding, dude. And from all over the world, like it's international. So
where is it hosted?
Usually it's in Indianapolis.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's the only place I've ever seen it be. I think it's been some other places before too. It would be dope if they came here.
Yeah. Be a little easier, but
it's
not it's doable in Indiana. So you have you love Tama, but you have some DW gear. Let's round out your current setup.
So I would say for the past couple gigs I've been playing with some R&B artists.
Okay.
And this one guy in particular named Sasha. And I use the SPDSX for all the samples, sometimes some snares. I'll use the real DW snare. Sometimes I'll go to the Tama Cocktail if I want I'll bring both snares.
Okay.
And just depending on the room, honestly, will determine like which snare I use.
Okay.
Because I don't want to hurt people's ears. And I found like the deeper the snare drum is, like in a smaller room, like people won't it's not gonna hurt them as bad. I mean, it may still hurt them if they're not wearing ear protection, but it won't be as noticeable.
Right.
All real cymbals. As far as cymbals go, I really like Meinl and Pisces cymbals. They're my favorite brands.
Okay.
They were all the cymbals I have right now have been gifts. Like just got lucky. Like
wow.
People are like, yo, dude, here's a cymbal. Or
great gift.
It'll be like for Christmas, they don't know. My family doesn't really know what my favorite cymbal is, but they are like, well, he's good. So they would go to the store and just get me good cymbals. And so far it has been consistent with those two brands. I bought a Zildjian for a while too. I had the Dark K Customs.
Okay.
And I really do. I still have them. I loved them.
Yeah.
I still use them actually for a lot of my jazz stuff. If I'm playing at a little jam session or something.
Something a little more earthy and darker.
Yeah.
More texture.
Yeah. I like the Meinl cymbals for the darkness too. dark cymbals really just don't cut through all the time. It's kind of what I like about the Pisces cymbals is like they just sound great all around. Like they sound great in the studio and they sound great live. But that's my personal like opinion, you know, because I've been in a small room with drummers wailing on them, and so like they maybe like they can wash out a little bit, you know. And I've seen them in stadiums, but like I also just know them. I know the sisters pretty well, and they're really good people. And I feel like that's kind of like the gist of the music industry. It's like a lot of people make cymbals.
Yeah.
A lot of drum heads. Like it doesn't really matter who you buy or who you play. It's just like just know like whoever you're using is this. They're on your agenda or your level in a sense. You know, like they respect you, you respect them. It's a relationship.
It's a relationship, right?
Yeah. So I feel like if they don't treat you that way, maybe that's not for you. But maybe some people don't care. Maybe some people just want a paycheck. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's guys that just won't switch from whatever company, you know, due to loyalty or due to maybe the product itself. But I agree. I think like a lot of those bigger brands are like top notch.
Yeah.
And you're going to get the sound that you want probably out of something that they offer.
When I went to NIM, I played on so many brands. It was like, okay. And plus there's like right now there's just drums going on. People, and in a huge loud room. You can't really tell.
Yeah.
You kind of could, but it's all great quality, you know, to like a level, you know what I mean? Or they wouldn't even be there. I feel like, well, I know for a fact that as long as they're consistent with what they do and they golden rule, man, like treat people how you want to be treated, your company will be successful. I think, you know, to some, you know, I mean, eventually, like what comes around goes around.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool. So let's talk about your dream kit. Like if you could have like one, it seems like your kit's pretty modular. You change it around, but if you could have one,
man, honestly, it would be like I'm into the hybrid kit thing right now. Like if I could get some like Roland hybrid with like DW deal or Tom or one of those two brands, I'd like those brands a lot. I just like the way the wood is, and
yeah,
you know.
Well, you know, Roland bought DW last year.
Yeah. So like it would be really cool to get a kit that has that feel and have the technology of Roland. And you've seen other brands try to make the hybrid kit with maybe they'll put the trigger in it, but I feel like with Roland and the quality of DW drums together, like those companies could, you know, do something just new.
Right.
You know, and I think I would love to get my hands on whatever that is going to be. You know, whether it's like just, even if it's just a bass drum or like one drum that they come out with, because I don't know if you've played like the newest Roland electric kit, but the snare drum it feels really, really good.
Wow.
You know, and
I haven't.
They have the ride cymbal as well. It's 22-inch ride cymbal. It's electric, but it feels like when you play the side of your stick, it'll replicate that. You know.
Oh, they finally got that.
Yeah, and that's my thing. That's why I choose to use live cymbals. Really, no matter what, when I'm in a studio, like I'll do like the whole kit electric, but the ride and the hi-hat specifically, they just have so many different timbres that they can make. I mean, the hi-hat, like, it's a beast on its own. Like you could probably just play a whole gig with a hi-hat and snare drum, not even a kick sometimes. You know, I mean, kick is so, you know, you really do need it, but I mean, all comes to shove, the hi-hat is like.
Yeah, you got to keep the beat.
Yeah, that's like the thing. That's the metronome in a way. Like,
right.
And the ride cymbal as well. Like it's got so many different sounds that you could put on there. You know, I don't know, just a lot of different artistic choices. That's what I learned growing up. I went to Alabama one time and I met this cruise ship drummer, and I didn't know what rudiments were. I was like in 4th grade or 5th grade at the time, and he gave me this sheet, and it just had like the patterns on it, like paradiddle, right, left, right, left, right, left, paradiddle, diddle, all the first like 25 like rudiments that like every drummer like would want to know if they just want to know, like rudimental drumming, the basic ones, you know. And I didn't know I was learning important stuff, but I was like, oh, that's a cool pattern. I started doing it on a drum kit, on his kit, and then I was with my grandparents. I went back to their house. They had a swing set in the backyard. I sat there for hours just on the metal, playing the different timbres on the plastic, hitting the metal, maybe like playing on dirt, and that's why I love rudiments, because they just open. This is vocabulary.
Right.
It just opens
right.
your.
That's a good way to put
Just
it.
opens your. Gives you more things to say, and it makes it more like this is exactly what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
maybe
cool.
it helps you put more intent behind what you're playing.
So Chris, we were talking about this before we started recording a little bit. That you make like cool artifacts and jewelry out of like cymbals and drum stuff. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's a company. We're at the last stage right now before like things are really ready to like, I can put it all out there and people can have it. But it's called Second Life.
Okay.
Okay, Second Life Accessories, and it's yeah, we can go get broken cymbals from a pawn shop and I can remake them, turn them into some necklaces. What I have on, these are my cymbals. I broke them in a practice room or at a show, and my buddy was like, "Yo, here's a piece of your cymbal," and I just like, I had a really good friend of mine he was like, I told him like, "What if I made this into a necklace?" And he's like, "That's a great idea," and I was like, "Nah, I mean that's kind of anybody could do that." So he comes up to me and he like sands it down. He's like, "Dude, this could really be something cool." So I took a big cymbal piece that was broken, started like making different things, stars, triangles. And these are like the first ones, they're not that good, but now it's like, okay, bought better equipment, bought like some machines and stuff to make it like consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really it's called Second Life because if Dave Grohl or anyone, let's say someone that's like even passed away, like that symbol, if I can get, we'll get it signed and have a story with it, and when we send it out, it'll come like a really nice gift box and everything, and it's gonna be really personal. But it's to connect you with your favorite, your favorite artist,
Right. That's cool.
and mainly so like the symbol could have just another chance at just living on in the world, and I don't know, it's kind of symbolic in a way because I just love drums, and I have some of my favorite drummers' drumsticks from their shows, like in like a little, it's like a little cylinder thing in my bedroom. It's like I have Tommy Lee's stick. I got, I have a Matt Garska stick. I have, what's the POD drummer? What's his name? My mom gave it to me when she went to one of his concerts. But like people just give me sticks, and some bands I don't even know, but like I just have the stick, even if it's like a local band.
Yeah.
And so signed for some reason, and it's not even is it about going to be worth money. It's just cool to me.
For sure.
So I was like, well, how can I make this cool, but also maybe like, the artist gets something back from it. I get something back from it. I can put back, because what I would love to do is just put back into the music community.
For sure.
Right. I was in a music fraternity, and the whole thing was like giving back to education, or giving back to like, if a kid was like really talented, bro, like help them out, bro. Buy them better equipment. Like a kid can slam. Like maybe they just have a rough life, and if you can make a way for somebody, what comes around goes around. Like kind of like what's been going on, because it's hard in California, man. It really is. And I've had people that just, hey, you're really talented, dude. Like I'm gonna help you out. Like they would just put me in with the right people, or maybe they would just give me a gift. Like they would give me a symbol. Like I don't even use this, man. And to me, it was like a super great symbol, but to them, it's like they get free stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, here, man, you can have this.
Well, I think that's a really cool idea. Getting symbols from like, popular guys, or just,
or local people,
whatever it is. Like, yeah, maybe if like, after I played a show, broke a cymbal, and I was like, hey man, can you make something cool for me or for my chick, or like to sell? Like you were saying that that local guys could even sell them like at their merch booths after their set and stuff, just to make it a little more unique.
Even if it's like a symbol you have that's just like in your practice room and it's just trashed, but it's yours, and it's like, I used to love Dragon Ball Z growing up.
Right on.
There's this part where Gohan is practicing with the Z sword, and he breaks it, and Supreme Kai comes out of it, and it's like he was in the sword, like he was living in it, like he's like a god in the symbol. And so to me, it's kind of like that. You broke the symbol, a piece of your energy was flowing into it constantly, and it was a vibration. It is real.
Right.
You could see it happening. You slow it down.
Yeah.
And it broke, and it's a piece of that. It's a piece of energy within that. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So I could take that messed up symbol, if it's a big chunk, I could turn it into like 500 small pieces, or a bunch of big pieces, or
Right.
You know what I mean? So
That's
it's,
cool.
that's how I look at it.
Like some clocks even,
Yeah.
to like middle pieces and stuff.
Yes. You really, like the hands and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how can people find Second Life accessories online yet?
So we're not yet. The launch is really gonna be like right around the end of the summer is what it's looking like. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a lot of products ready. I've made like a lot of been like getting the websites put up, making sure everything legally is there. You know, not breaking any laws, taking people's other ideas or anything of that nature. You know, just making sure it's like original to me.
Yeah.
You know, or to the artist I'm doing. So far, I got some cool drummers on. Some of them are kind of are local to California, because I'm in California, so that's the easiest way to kind of get it started.
Yeah.
If you have some broken cymbals, I'll put you on there.
I do, dude.
I'll put you on there.
I was just thinking they're actually at my house.
Yeah, well,
but I for sure I'll toss.
I come to
some.
Santa Ana all the time, man.
Okay.
So, but that's how I'm basically just doing it, you know. So again, even with the engraver, for now it's like a hand thing, but because right now the laser's just like cutting shapes stuff. But I still have to go and sand and do things like I had to like make it not like, you know, gonna poke your eyeball out.
Yeah, you'd fall and cut your chest open.
Exactly.
So if people wanted to wait for that or to follow you for like gun for hire work or whatever, how could they find you online right now?
Yeah, so right now it's Chris Ball Drums, you know, on Instagram, or I have a TikTok as well. It's the same exact name. I'm
Chris
pretty sure.
Ball Drums, awesome.
Yeah, CBD basically.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah.
So we're nearing the end of the interview here. What are 1 to 3 tips that you would give any drummer? Like from your perspective, what are like the top most important things that you want to communicate to the drum world?
We don't know nothing. We don't know anything. We know what we know, and it's continuously evolving.
Okay.
So
love that.
So the first one would be just stay open-minded to anybody's critique.
Okay.
Take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like don't be so offended by it. Oh man, you could have been dirty here, or you could be cleaner here. Those double strokes were dirty, or oh man, you're always rushing. You're out of time. Just take it with what they're saying. Maybe they're the ones rushing, but like you know, maybe you are rushing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do have a thing.
Right.
I feel like when growing up, people would tell me things, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm the drummer. I'm the one keeping time. You follow me." You know.
Yeah.
So you're not always right.
Yeah.
You know?
I know rushing is my problem.
Right.
You know, personally, I'm like, fuck, I need to slow down.
Me too. So, yeah, I think that's the first one would be, you know, take things with a grain of salt, you know, but take everyone's like critique. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's going to critique you. Just don't take it so personal.
Sure.
The second one would be put yourself out there. You know, like 20 likes, no likes, bad quality videos, mic'd up kit. It doesn't matter. Just, you know, jam with people. Show yourself in a live room. People are going to get online. You got bullies. They're going to hate on you. People are going to talk, but someone's going to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe someone will be nice enough to reach out. Again, hey, man, really good stuff, but maybe try this. You know, that's happened to me. And, like, at first, I'd be like, who's this guy I think he is? You know? And then, but I'd meet that person in person, actually. Because in Louisiana, it's small. You meet those people. They comment on your post, and you're going to see them at the club the next night. And I just talk to them about it. And maybe, you know, online, you're not hearing people's voice. So we always tend to take it the wrong way. A lot of the majority of the time. Some people do. You know, it's just, hey, it's not, you're reading it a certain way. It could be, you could try reading what they said to you like 10 different ways. Read it like a country person. Read it like an angry person. Read it like a child. You know, read it a bunch of different ways so you don't get caught up in your own ego.
Yeah. And because a lot of time it could be like a projection. It's like when you read it, you like read it with your own angry tone. You're like,
yeah. And then
what a dick.
The third one, and personally, I think this is kind of like the most important. Just don't stop practicing. You know,
100%.
just don't stop. If you go on vacation, bring some sticks, bring a practice pad, get some putty pad. I don't know, man. Like, bring your laptop, make some MIDI beats. Don't stop practicing, but don't stop creating.
For sure.
Learn people's songs, learn some covers, but create. Jam by yourself. Just keep up with it. People say just practice, but then it's like, what do you practice? It's just like, so I guess I'll just sum it up. Just stay creative.
Yeah.
Just stay creative. Creative Chris, man. That's what you could call me, man. Stay creative.
I love that.
So
yeah, your second tip is really important because a lot of people don't want to be seen starting from the bottom. They're like, they feel like they're above that. They're like, I just want to be at, insert influencer name or famous person name.
They want to be Neil Peart. They want to be whoever they're looking up to.
Yeah, and that was never an overnight thing. It wasn't even like over the course of like a year or two. Like all those people, no matter who they are, no matter who you are, that's like, bigger and has a following. They started, humbly, and they had to begin somewhere. So you got to do that.
Dude,
you have to put in that work.
Actors, musicians, politicians, some of the most wealthy people in the world. They worked late night shifts. They worked as janitors. They worked as pizza guys.
Yeah.
I was a delivery guy. I've been a maintenance guy before. A lot of people just want to do what they want to do, but the most successful people really do put in the work. I mean,
sure.
it looks like they just made what it was given to them. A lot of people, when you're looking at successful people, it may come from jealousy. I mean, I come from like nothing in a sense. I grew up in like a little trailer park growing up. Now, where I live now, it's like completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I live like on the beach, man.
Nice.
And it's like from a swamp bayou to a beach. It's completely different. There's no mosquitoes. It's like, whoa. But everyone starts somewhere. So that's why I'm nice. That's why I try to be. I mean, in California, people can be kind of cold. Maybe not as cold as like New York, but I met some people here that maybe they won't talk to me because they think I'm good, or they think that I'm like, I don't know, like I have some ulterior motive. But I really try hard to like, no, man, like you're nice, I'm nice, you're cool. I like drumming, you like music, drumming.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm good. I know, like, I've put in a lot of time, and I've studied, and I've bought books.
It's refreshing to hear someone just say, like, yeah, I'm good, like, I put in the time, because a lot of people, they're unsure or whatever, but you're totally good, so it's good to hear that.
Yeah, I know I can do some things that maybe somebody can't, but I've met my dad is, like, these guys that are, like, drumming with him that are, like, 50-plus years old, 60-plus years old, and they're playing like train beats in blues music, and it's like, but they can do it better than me. I mean, I can go shaka-taka, book-a-taka, juka-taka, book-a-taka with the hi-hat and the kick drum fluttering.
Yeah.
But they've been doing that beat for fucking ever.
Yeah.
So it's like just showing appreciation to that. Like, a pop artist can come on the radio, dude, and I'll give them a listen. I know a lot of us in the rock world they don't want to hear Justin Bieber. They don't want to hear Ariana. They don't want to hear whoever. I mean, I love like Thundercat. I love I love pop music, and I love underground music. It's just
Bruno Mars, man. All those
on.
drums are like, I
Awesome.
was learning a bunch of that stuff to play with a cover band, and I was like very challenged.
Yeah, it's like it's so simple that it's not even that simple. There's just things in it that. Well, that was a catch right there. That was you don't.
Yeah.
It throws you for something you don't expect, and a lot of that music, that's how it is. It's like. They want it to be seamless, but once you really break it down, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
that's why it wins Grammys. That's why
it's pop. It's supposed to be accessible to everyone. People think that like, oh, you can't tell, but people are smarter than you think. Like when it comes to recordings and movies and books and shit like that. And you're totally right. That's why it wins Grammys. It's brilliant.
I mean, there's people out there that that no one will probably ever know, that are probably some of the best drummers or artists in the whole world, best singers, songwriters. And again, like, I'm okay with that. Like, my dad, no one knows my dad. He's a great piano player, man.
Yeah.
He's a blind dude. He has 3 kids. He's works really hard. I love my dad.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, no one knows him, and he don't care if anyone knows him. And I'm like, that's a power in itself, because this world, like, when people will use you, and it's like, hey man, maybe if everybody not knowing is not so bad of a deal. Like just being a session drummer, hey, But
Yeah.
also like I don't mind if people know me either. It's whatever. But I think just being okay with like what you got, But it's okay. You get more, but like I want more to do more for others. That's how I'm really trying to live. Cause that's the only reason why I'm here right now, straight up, because someone helped me out.
Dude, I mean, I think life is, this is like an experience of like energies.
Yeah.
Matter and energy and whatnot. I'm not very scientific, but you get out what you put in.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, Chris, thanks for stopping by, man. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Dude, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Like when you messaged me, I jumped up off the couch. I was like, dude, that dude wants to fucking give me a podcast, dude. I was like, whoa, 'cause like it's just nice to know like someone's not judging me in a way. I don't feel judged. I feel like you're just really cool. You want to hang out. You want to talk music and drums, and it's the ego and the vibe is nice. So whoever gets the opportunity to come on this show, they're gonna feel that same energy, and you're just gonna spread that around. I think this side of the world needs a lot more of that.
Oh, thanks, dude.
There needs to be more smiles like that.
Yeah, man. I just want to be a part of the community and have a good time and learn from people that I otherwise wouldn't have. So I'm glad we connected and really happy you stopped by.
Yeah, I am too, man. Like it's pretty surreal in a way.
Cool.
Like,
well, we'll do it again sometime too.
We totally should. Definitely when I get the company up and going.
Yeah.
Coming here.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love you. Yeah, just to come in and talk about that. And
if you ever want to do video stuff, I do have friends that do that.
Okay.
So
yeah, at the moment, just kind of want to keep everything simple. This is like the 4th episode, So.
Oh, that was a thing, man. I tried to find the other episodes. Are they on the website?
No. So
YouTube,
I'm.
Or you haven't put them out yet?
I haven't put them out yet. So
Okay.
I'm kind of pre-recording a bunch because I'm going to do them weekly and like release weekly. So I wanted to have like. I didn't want to be like stressed for like, oh shit, I got to find someone to record a podcast with next week and so I'm pre-recording like a handful, and then I'm gonna slowly release them because I'm going on vacation soon, and work is crazy, so I just
that's how I do my videos. I'll make a bunch of videos and then like I'll do like one long video, like cut it up, and just kind of post as I go.
Exactly. But
sometimes I get depressed and I don't feel like posting though.
Well, I mean, you can never have too much content. I mean, I think that's
what I'm trying to practice,
man.
man. Like you just keep putting it out there.
Yeah.
Even when you're depressed and you think people don't care, somebody cares. You kind of showed me that. Like you inviting me, kind of like, man, some people are watching me. Like I don't like I everyone has something, but you have to let that something come out.
Yeah, well, this will be another piece to share, So it'll be an Apple podcast, and then it'll be a YouTube link as well. But what I'll do is I'll make like the photo that we took of us together and like the podcast logo, and use that as like a background, and then have the audio
just like playing
going as like the whole video, static kind of thing. So you can cut up like favorite bits and like release, once a week. Oh, this is the podcast that I did with Max at Clockwork, and.
Right. What's your last name, by the way? I was trying to like look you up on Facebook. I think I found you, but
I'm not on Facebook actually. But my last name's Gomez.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah.
Okay. Max Gomez. Cool. All right.
So.
Because like when I put you in my phone, it was just like Clockwork, quote like the little what was it called?
Parentheses.
Yes, parentheses. And just like put Max and was like,
nice.
Put the date when I met you.
Cool.
So like the Tiki Bar Show. And a lot of people hate on like some of the bars in Orange County, but like that bar, I've found a lot of up and coming artists, and also like artists that have been around for a while just coming back because maybe they started at that place,
mm-hmm.
And it's like I think it's a cool place to do like, I like to experiment there. Every time I've played there so far, it's just like test the waters. Like I like to try new drum fields because it's like a place where it's like. People are going there for the music, bro. People are going there for music. They're not going there to really play pool. They're going there for the music.
Yeah.
Music in the tacos in the back. Some of the drinks.
Have you been to the Wayfair?
Yeah, I went to the Wayfair right after y'all show. And there was like a ska type band playing there.
Oh, cool.
I met this guy named Matt, but his name on Instagram is like Metronome. He was a great drummer too, dude. He was really, really good.
Right on.
So I saw a lot of good drummers that night, actually.
Cool.
So I was like, cool. I was actually really happy. I love seeing good drummers. Like, I just like seeing, or not even just like when people say good, just people like, you can just tell they care.
Yeah.
You know, like, even if I could see a kid that's been playing for 2 years and see two kids that've been playing for 2 years and tell that one put more time in than that one.
100%.
You know, and then maybe one day that kid will slow down and that kid will pick up the pace. But, because, you know, I've had seasons where I practice more than, you know, and there's been times where I only practice like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, that's not good.
Yeah.
You gotta practice every day.
Ideally,
and it's hard. And the older we get, the harder it is. We got responsibilities.
Yeah.
So.